So having pre-processed this data, the next thing we want to do here is to look at, to summarize, the effect of, uh, day of the week, for example, on bakery sales. Let's say we want to know if on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, whatever, which, part of the day, the sales goes up, right? So we want to look at, the day of the week impact on the bakery sales. So the first thing we want to do is to create a pivot table, and then from the pivot table we can plot out, we can visualize, and see actually how this is manifesting, with the data set. So the first thing I would do here is to create a pivot table. Let's insert here pivot table. I will choose a new sheet, right? And yeah, I do not want this column here, Monday, Tuesday. I don't want that. I just want to start from here, which is column C, right? C4. So I will remove this B and then choose C4. Great. So that's just what we are interested in, from C4 down to K1099. New sheet. Great. So we want to look at the day of the week here. Let's have it on the rows, and then all the various product. Want to look at the cake, the pies, cookies, smoothie, coffee, and so on. So we want to look at these and see their impact on sales. So we will choose here the average, right? Instead of choosing the count, that will be the average sales of each of the product, right? So the average here, right here, the average coffee. Great. So these are the sales here, the average sales, for each each day of the week. The next thing we will do here, like Confucius says, right, a picture is worth, thousands of words. So when we have all this data with all these numbers, so it's difficult like to pinpoint, or like to have a clear view of actually what we are, trying to achieve. And the best way to to see, to have a bigger picture here, is to visualize it. So we will use in here insert and look at the insert pivot chart, right? This will not be great enough, right? This is a bar chart, which is not great enough to look at what's really going on. But still, when you look clearly here, there is a trend, right? But it's very difficult to look into. So I would rather go for a line chart, right? So let's change this into a line chart. So you can just right click here, and then we will change this into something like change type. So I want to use a line chart. I think that would be way better. Yeah, so a line chart is way better here. So now when you look at what we have here with this line chart, because that's the average sales here, so we are visualizing actually the day of the week sales, right? Clearly you can see here, when you look closely, you will see on Sunday we have, there is a bump here, right? So on Sunday we have higher sales here, but when it comes down to Monday, Tuesday up to Friday, the sales are literally the same. They are, relatively the same, on the same scale. But when it comes down to Sunday, it goes up again, and so on. So on weekends, sales are up, and then during weekdays, sales are down. Whether it's, cake, pies, cookies, smoothie, or coffee. So of all the product, for all the bakery product. So that's the first thing that we can actually see from this data set here. What we want to look at here, after looking at the weekdays impact on sales here, we want to look at the seasonality, right? We want to analyze the seasonality of this product. Sales are the same, for each month. It means they do not exhibit seasonality. But when from one month to the other, some month you have higher sales and other month you have lower sales, it means you have actually seasonality in your data set, right? And from a marketing standpoint, you must determine the presence, and magnitude of seasonality, to more efficiently plan, your advertising, promotion, manufacturing decisions, right? And investment. Like when you have seasonality, when you know in a given period of time, let's say December, right, that you have high sales, you know, seasonally, like December seasons, you have high sales. You do not actually, for this very period of time, you do not need to do any I should say any advertising, right? You can, trim your budget, for advertising, because you know that whether you advertise or not, people will come for it, because this is a season, it's a peak season. So there is no need to go for, advertising. So you save up your budget for time when people like actually do not, pay, I mean do not buy a lot your product. So you put advertising in there, to attract more customers, for sales. But in a period of time when you know that you already, this is a peak season, there is no need to go for advertising, because that will be a waste of resources. That's why, analyzing seasonality in your data set is very important. It helps, in making all, a why, making, wiser decision, marketing decision actually. So to look at, seasonality in our data set, we'll have to go back again and create another pivot table. We do the same as before. This will be C. Come on. All right, great. So like I was saying, we use the date here, and then cookies, smoothie, coffee. I don't need the quarter here. Oh yeah. So I don't want to use quarterly data here, right? Uh, okay, no problem. I will change that. That's not a big deal. That shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, cool. So first thing first, right? Looking at the seasonality here, I want to use as monthly data, right? Every month. I don't want to use quarter or year. I want to use monthly. So I have to group these, by and to do that, you can change here, right? You can change the grouping, and I want to group it by month, right? I don't want to group it by quarter or year. So seasonality depends, right? You can look at the seasonality quarterly, every quarter, like what's going on in your data set, right? So but in this very case, I want to look at monthly seasonality. So yeah, great. And the next thing is here, I don't want to look at the sum of the sales, but the average. So on average, how much do you sell uh, every month, actually, every month for throughout the year. So we can look at seasonality and see which period of the year the sale goes up. Is it in January, February, March, or whatever? So that's what we are trying to look at here. Now again, like I said earlier, right, a picture is worth thousands of words, right? We are better off visualizing these than looking at the numbers. So how the visual look here, make it a little more bigger. So clearly when you look at this, you got this red line, which is the price. There's a very little seasonality here, right? It's horizontal. That means actually throughout the year, for each month from January up to December, the sales of pies are literally the same. It goes down. We have little seasonality here for coffee, for cake, um, cookies. We have literally very little seasonality. We can say like for a given month you have higher sale. The only one here is smoothie. Actually, the smoothie is the only one that is displaying its seasonality here, starting from April, I would say, because from January to March is down. From April we have much higher sales. April, May, or I should say May. We can say May. From May, June, July, we have higher sales up to August, right? Up to August, yeah, up to September actually. After September, the sales comes down, and literally that's the summertime, right? May, June, July, August, September, that's the summertime, and then you have higher sales of smoothie. And after September, it comes down, right? Yeah, so with this means actually you can trim your budget, your advertising budget, for example, from May, I mean in summertime, actually from May up to September, right? Instead of you advertising this period of time, you already know this is your peak season. So there is no need of advertising, because definitely people come for it summertime. There is a the demand is higher, during this period of time. So you can trim your advertising, and promotion expenditure, for smoothie, between this period of time. And I mean, you can devote it to other products, like products that are not selling, like cakes, like I don't know, coffee, smoothies that are not selling. Actually, you can devote, your advertising budget, you know on those efforts, to drag out, more customers, for those products. But for the smoothie, you don't need that because they are already selling anyway, whether you advertise or not, people come for it. So that's the beauty, of visualizing and having to look at the seasonality in your data set. Up next, we're going to look at the trend. We're going to look at the trend in the data set, see if actually, the we have opposite upper trend, or downward trend, which means if we are doing good, the business is doing good or not. So this helps, the trend helps look at the health, of the business, whether you are doing good or not. To do that, again, we are going back here to look at another pivot table. And from the pivot, you're going to visualize and then look at the trend actually.